There is one additional aspect of Justice Brown's opinion that merits our attention. He writes, "We consider the underlying fallacy of the plaintiff's argument to consist in the assumption that the enforced separation of the two races stamps the colored race with a badge of inferiority. If this be so, it is not by reason of anything found in the Act, but solely because the colored race chooses to put that construction upon it. The argument necessarily assumes that if, as has been more than once the case, and is not unlikely to be so again, the colored race should become the dominant power in the state legislature and should enact the law in precisely similar terms, it would thereby relegate the white race to an inferior position. We imagine that the white race, at least, would not acquiesce in this assumption. The argument also assumes that social prejudices may be overcome by legislation, and that equal rights cannot be secured to the Negro except by an enforced commingling of the two races. We cannot accept this proposition. If the two races are to meet upon terms of social equality, it must be the result of natural affinities, a mutual appreciation of each other's merits, and a voluntary consent of individuals." Justice Brown is making two assertions here. First, the fact of legally required segregation does not denote a caste system. He is essentially saying that if blacks feel that segregation makes them second-class citizens, it is not because of anything in the law, but simply because they choose to feel that way. Second, he is asserting that racial biases and animus cannot be eliminated through legislative acts forcing integration. Obviously, both of these assertions were rejected 60 years later when the Supreme Court handed down its landmark decision in Brown versus the Board of Education.